today's video, we are going to discuss about negotiation tips. Let's discuss about the conventional negotiation strategy first. In the conventional approach, which we all have been using like for last 4, 5, maybe for 6 years, it's that we show ourselves as an employee of a company, and we talk to the supplier that our manager or maybe our boss does not agree to the price we have given. So please decrease the price. Please try to cooperate with us, such kind of stuff. This is what has been the conventional negotiation approach, conventional negotiation strategy. So there are some issues with this strategy. The first one is that it looks like that we do not have any authority in the negotiation part. And the second issue is that the strategy is overused, and the suppliers now can easily identify that you are using the same conventional old strategy. And the thing is, when they get an idea that you are trying to use this strategy, it simply does not work anymore. When the moment the supplier or their agent realize that you are using this conventional strategy, simply it does not work. And then again, when they get an idea about this thing, they feel like you are making them fool, and you simply lose the authority or the power to close the deal, to make a deal with the supplier. So with the help of the new strategy, which we are going to discuss in this video today, our aim or our goal is to get the best possible price without compromising the quality, with as low as possible MOQ. So the point is, without compromising the quality is the main thing, and the product specification sheet and all of your learning about why people purchase this, the ICP, and all those things which we have learned in the second session and the third session are going to contribute in this part. So the angle which we want to portray in front of supplier is that we are already working with an existing supplier, but their product quality is poor. And as a proof, we can show them some random images from the Amazon negative review section. We can show them that this is the complaint we've been facing, or this is the kind of complaints we have been facing, and now we are looking to switch or to do transition to a more reliable supplier who can offer us product with better quality. Now, with this new strategy where we are portraying that we are already working with an existing supplier, you're going to face a couple of questions regarding low MOQ, regarding the quality, etc. So we are going to discuss those one by one, how we can tackle that. So the first question is, the supplier is going to ask you, if you're an existing seller and you're working already with an existing supplier, why do you need a low MOQ? So what we need to do here to tackle this point is, we need to tell him that we want to do the transition gradually. We are still taking some inventory from the old supplier, and we have started to do the transition in a gradual manner, and we want to order a small quantity from your side. If and only if, the big if, like you need to mention that in the communication, the big if your quality is good enough, then we will complete the transition. We will complete the switch from that previous supplier to you. So that's why, that is basically the reason we want to start with the lower MOQ, because we first want to test your quality. Until then, we can manage whole the supply chain by doing the partial transition. Along with this, we need to make promise of large quantity and stable order once the transition is done from the previous supplier to this existing supplier, whoever we are basically in contact with. And the second thing is, we need to highlight them the reason that why we have approached this new supplier, because we are looking for some better quality product. So they have that kind of pressure that you really need a good quality product, and quality is something you won't compromise on, or it's kind of your trigger point. So they will try to make sure to provide the best possible quality, definitely staying within the premises or staying within the affordability of you guys. The second thing which they can ask from you in this new strategy is, where is your existing Amazon listing? So you can always tell them that the previous Amazon listing is abandoned due to the negative reviews, due to poor quality of products. So we want to start a new brand with you guys, and the plan is to get a lot of good 5-star or positive reviews in the beginning, due to in the beginning of this new listing, basically due to good quality of products. And if they ask you what is your target price or what price are you looking for, then you need to tell them that the price I paid previously to the existing supplier or the previous supplier, that was of different quality of product. So there is no point on telling you that price because the quality level is different. So I'm more interested to know the price from your side. So if they ask you about the current price or ask kind of the question, what is the current price you guys are paying? You need to tell them that that is kind of irrelevant because previously the price I was paying that was for an altogether different quality of product, and I'm expecting a better quality, a different quality from you guys. So I'm not sure how that previous price, I mean, telling you that previous price is going to help. So I'm more interested to hear the price point from you guys. This is what you're supposed to tell to the supplier. This is what I usually do. You can kind of play with the words accordingly. But what I'm trying to tell you is how we can tackle these kind of questions. Having said all this, let's jump on to the negotiation points. So there are going to be 5 stages of communication, and I'm going to discuss the guidelines about each stage one by one. Now, here I'm not going to share the exact template which we basically use because that's going to jeopardize all the situation, and each and every supplier then is going to get the same message template. You guys know that. All of you guys who already have been through the coaching sessions, you know things do get viral. Things kind of spread out in the market very easily. So I don't want each and every supplier to get the same message template. So here I am going to share some guidelines and some key points regarding the messages of each of the 5 stages, which will help you to write down the message to your supplier. So there are going to be 5 stages of communication. First one is open communication with the supplier, and then the second one is raise the concern on the price. Then the third stage is going to be you are going to ask for samples for from those suppliers particularly who qualify. And then the fourth stage is you need to back out in a very polite manner. And the stage 5 is you need to contact back the suppliers you want to make a deal with, and then you will close a deal with those suppliers. So let's start with the messaging guidelines of the stage one. You need to introduce them with your name, and then you need to show your designation as the co-owner of the company. It has two things. First thing is it gives you the authority, so you can so the suppliers do know that you have the authority to close the deal. And second thing is it gives you the margin to play with the supplier in the negotiation, where you can put the things on your co-founder or maybe your co-owner or your colleague. Then you need to tell them that we have been selling in the USA market if you are doing the sourcing for the USA, or European market if you're doing the sourcing for European side, and you have sold a ABC number, let's say this kind of revenue and this much kind of products, and your revenue for last 12 months was ABC, whatever revenue amount you want to put there. And then you want to tell them that for this particular product, for example in our case that is stress ball, you have sold this much amount of product. I mean, you can say XYZ dollars worth of product you have sold that already in last 12 months, but your listing started getting down because of the poor reviews and the poor quality, and that's why you are looking for a better supplier with some better quality product so you can resume the stuff. You need to let them know that basically you are looking for a supplier who can manufacture high quality product with some competitive price. And here at this point you need to share your product specification sheet with the supplier. Now attach this point with the video, with the previous video in which we have learned about the product specification sheet. The supplier with the maturity of your product specification sheet, with the maturity of all the details you are going to put into that sheet, that's going to give the supplier an impression that you know your stuff, that you know your product, that you know all the nitty gritty details here. Then in the same message, you need to ask them about the Xbox price and FOB price. If you order, let's say, 1,000 units and then 3,000 units and then 5,000 units, like we usually do conventionally, and you need to tell them that you in a straight way, you need the Xbox price without the shipping charges, without the packaging charges, because you have your dedicated freight forwarder who can manage this part. that is going to give a good impression to the supplier that yes, this guy is an experienced player and he's not a newcomer. And here you are supposed to, I mean, with these guidelines, you can add one or two things, or maybe kind of exclude one or two things, but this is going to be a generic messaging guideline for the first stage. Okay, so now let's start with the guideline of the stage two of negotiation. Whoever replies you, whoever supplier gives you response, you need to tell them that I was pretty excited when I saw your mail, and then I got excited. My excitement got double when I got to know that you can manufacture such kind of product with high quality. But then my excitement went away when I saw the price you have quoted to me. Then you need to tell them that I know my current supplier's price is low due to poor quality, but still the difference between your price and his price is very huge. The difference is big basically. And lastly, in the last paragraph, you should mention that our profit margins were already slim, and with your price, we may become non-profitable for this product. Please tell your boss that we have sold this much quantity of this product in last 12 months in the USA market, or let's say if you are trying to source for the UK market, so we want you to reconsider the quotation, reconsider the price. So here, let's discuss about the messaging guideline for the stage three. Now, those who reply you back with some better price, you need to send them the message. Thanks for improving the initial offer. We respect that. While the price is not, we are happy with completely, not something basically with which we are happy completely, but still we believe it will be worth looking into your samples to make a decision about this thing. So here at this stage, you need to ask them, can you ship the samples at this ABC desired location where my freight forwarder can pick the sample and consolidate that with the sample of other suppliers, so they know they are in competition with other suppliers, and then you can say that your freight forwarder can ship all the samples to your place. Then along with this, you need to mention that meanwhile, can you let me know the timeline if you're open for the factory audit? That's going to exclude the part that whatever supplier you are in communication with, that's going to exclude the factor that he is a wholesaler, and then their openness to do the factory audit, that kind of going to prove their how legit they are basically. And then you can ask them, are you guys open for the factory audit? Like in next 2 3 weeks my auditor can visit you. We can simply pay 100 to $150 only to those suppliers, on you can say the top 2 3 suppliers, or maybe even the single supplier, the top best supplier. Or you can always ask for other options for the factory audit, which we discussed in the last videos. That can be, do you have any audit copy which any of your previous client have done already, or can you help me to do the virtual visit of your factory? So you need to incorporate the factory audit part here in this stage. So let's discuss now about the messaging guideline, like the template guideline for the stage four. At this stage, you have received the samples already, and if the supplier's sample quality is good enough, then you can send them this message that while we have checked your sample, overall the quality of sample is close enough to what we are looking for, and definitely much better than the quality of our existing or of our previous supplier. But still, the price difference is too high. The price difference between what we are paying and what you are quoting, the difference between these two prices is too high. Then you need to also mention that aside from the better price which our existing supplier is offering, we also have a net 30 agreement or net 30 term with the existing supplier. What does it mean? Basically, it means that we have that kind of negotiation with the supplier, that we pay the invoice amount, the due amount of the invoice 30 days after the invoice is issued. So we have a 30 days credit term basically, which is making all this transition hard to make, which is making this switch a difficult thing. Instead of explaining this in a long sentence that we have a credit term and when the invoice is issued, we kind of clear the due amount after 30 days. Instead of saying all this, we can simply mention net 30 agreement or net 30 term. You can simply Google that, and the supplier already knows that, and it show them that you do have an idea about the things. You do know how things are work, and it will kind of give them an impression that you have an experience of working with suppliers. And finally, in this stage 4, you need to tell the supplier that unfortunately it looks like due to these things which I mentioned above, we cannot materialize our partnership. But still, thank you so much for your time and all of your effort. So you are backing out at this stage. You have told them that you have a net 30 agreement or net 30 term with your existing supplier. You have told them their quality is good, and I mean this you have tick marked this element that the quality element is good enough, and it's only the price point due to which we think we need to back out. And this will kind of give them an impression that if I compromise on price a little bit, I can close the deal here. And because of these the product specification sheet and the factory audit and the net 30 terms, and showing you are showing the revenue, I mean telling them basically the revenue which you have been doing with the product, it shows that you know your stuff, it shows that you know your business. And they are not dealing with a newcomer, they are not dealing with a non-serious client. They know that the person is serious and the person is looking for a serious deal here. So here come the final stage guideline, the final stage when you are supposed to close the supplier. Now, just to let you know, we are only proceeding with those suppliers whose price does qualify for whatever numbers we are making. I mean, we are securing a decent margin and all that. We are only proceeding with those suppliers. We are not doing post to contact back the supplier maybe 3 4 days after that, and we need to tell them that I've been in deep discussion regarding the selection of supplier with my co-owner or co-founder or with my partner in the business. And then you need to tell them that the struggle is partially about their quoted price, whatever price quotation they have given to you. And then second, I mean first partially about the quoted price, and the other partially is because of that net 30 terms which we have with our existing supplier. So these are basically two blockages. And then after this stage, you need to tell them how expert you are in establishing brands, in playing with ads, in scaling businesses to maybe 6 7 figures, and you know your stuff. You know how to sell a product at the front end. You need to kind of emphasize on this element again. And here now is the final part where you are going to give them the proposal. So you are going to say to them, I'm just telling you the guideline, you can make up the words by yourself. We would like to accept your offer, whatever the quoted price, whatever price they have given to you, the quotation. We are fine with that, but can you do the net 30 term with us in the second batch of shipment or in the first replenishment? I mean, the second transaction which you are going to make with the supplier. Can you do the net 30 term? That's going to make the things easy for us and all the other stuff, etc., etc. So basically, we were supposed to accept his quoted price already. The price was good enough, but still we backed out, and then we contacted them back. And the only plan was to go into net 30 term. And here you can link it to the session 4, the product financial feasibility, where we know that if we get the credit terms, then it helps a lot in the cash flow, and definitely it reduces the investment amount. We can kind of give the proposal in another way as well. For example, you have done some product development and you know that your product require a mold to change the design, and that's going to give you the product development moat while launching the product. So you can tell them that the mold, our previous mold was owned by the previous supplier, and we would like to create a new one. Can you cover the cost of the mold? So basically we were supposed to accept the price already, but we kind of put a delay in that. And when we came back to the supplier, we can either ask them for the net 30 term from the second replenishment, or if that is fine with us, we can go with the like we want them to cover the mold cost basically. So these are the two additional thing we need to put up in front of them, one of these. Either we can talk about the net 30 term, or we can ask them to cover the cost of the mold basically. So there's a possibility that your dream supplier or your ideal supplier refuses you, and he does not want to proceed with these terms, then you can always show some flexibility and you can ask them that we can proceed with the net 30 terms from third shipment instead of the second shipment. Or let's say if you are talking about them, if you're talking about basically you are asking them to cover the cost of the mold, you can ask to them that we can cover 50% cost of the mold and you can cover the remaining 50% cost of the mold anywhere. I mean, it's the agenda here is if you have any third thing to discuss, if you want any third leverage, that can be you need to ask them to provide you free storage for your product. And let's say you have ordered 5,000 unit or maybe 10,000 unit, then you are taking only a small chunk of unit, and for the remaining inventory, they are offering you free storage. You can ask about any leverage. That can be any of these three, or you can add any fourth leverage. So the point here is uh, to agree to their quotation, but along with an additional benefit here. So if they kind of refuse in the follow-up message, you need to show some flexibility here. The payment terms, the net 30 terms can be shifted to maybe third shipment or maximum to the fourth shipment. And the cost of the mold, we can show some flexibility. There's also possibility that we can ask them, we are going to cover 50% cost of the mold and you can cover the remaining 50% cost of the mold. And once we achieve order of this much number of units, let's say 10,000 stress balls or maybe 15,000 stress balls, then you need to pay us back our invested 50% in the cost of the mold. So these terms can be discussed with the supplier. And this is basically the negotiation strategy which I am using, and it is very helpful and it is kind of different as well. And all the learning, all the in-depth study regarding the product, regarding the customer, the product specification sheet, you showing yourself as a mature product owner or as a mature brand owner, which most of you are already, it kind of helps them to leverage your position and helps them to make a better deal, to build an authority, to build a rapport in the eyes of the supplier, and utilize that and even capitalize that, and secure a better deal. So that's it for this session, and see you soon in the next one. Till then, goodbye.